He looks terrified.
Left alone with a strange man with a moustache.
Minus one incorrect plural of sheep.
Okay, just talk about your game.
The game itself is fun. It's sheep, as you do. And it's basically a tower-based game.
It's a tower defense based game.
And the sheep are coming to attack, take over, and get you really, because you're eating their families. And you're just defending yourself, trying to live. As long as you can, it gets harder and harder.
Yeah, mostly that. You need to get your way through a horde, literally a horde of 2012 ships with uneven weaponry and siege equipment to clash them as much as possible. The only problem, the ships are armed with explosive kegs, becoming the ultimate destructive power on the earth. And a hit is enough to severely damage the city walls. So yeah, using your catapults, you need to get rid of as much you can. According to the fact that more ships you kill, more they come and more quickly they are. So nearly the end, they basically kamikaze run, charging endlessly at you.
As you progress, speed increases, the amount of spawning increases. But this one did achieve completion.
She actually managed to do that. I didn't. You win.
He's not gonna finish it now.
No.
Yeah, that's how we're getting pretty much.
Yeah, just leave the ship destroy everything, so yeah. Basically, every time a ship hits the wall, 1/4 of a hurt is gone. There are no refills, no healing at all, so you need to be really careful with your life. When the hearts are at 0, the city walls nominally are destroyed, and bad things. Basically, yeah, they blast their way into the village and wipe out the Vikings. That's pretty much all.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Any questions or quick
What,
questions?
what happens when you win and kill all the sheep?
When you kill all the sheep, you basically have wiped out all the sheep in the region, so you are technically safe. But
Yeah, you save the village.
roleplay wise, another pack of sheep is coming, you can play again the game.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we'll move on to Team Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It should already be installed.
Fine,
Yeah.
before I go on.
No, I mean like no one. So, maybe you guys are ready?
There you go. the Viking boat, part of that thing when an animated sheep, legs go up and it jumps. The spinning discs that kill you. We use a grappling hook to jump from different areas. And there you go. Dead. Didn't get very far. Basically, with the boat goes along the map until the end of the level, and if the boat beats you, then you lose. So the idea is behind now. The idea is to get ahead of the boat without dying, obviously. But again, it's not the easiest game in the world.
None of us are particularly artists, so as you can tell,
Yeah.
if anybody's played the game Super Meat Boy, it's pretty obvious that, yeah.
He's obviously using an Xbox controller and developed with XNA.
The graphic isn't, well,
Yeah,
finished.
it didn't get finished properly.
It was written in the last, like, hour and a half.
It's an art.
And you want to
We've never completed the level yet. It's a bit too imaginative. Well, it's too many spinning discs. Obviously, slow you into pieces. And then you get a nice load of blood across the screen. Maybe you'll make it this time. There you go. That's great. Far away. And the boat was still going to beat him anyway, so there you go. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You're going to keep it short. Is there anything else you want to know about it?
Is there a maximum range for the grappling hook? Did you just like
Yeah, there is.
the level?
It's like 100.
She doesn't care anymore.
Did you
We like
use
pop.
the theme 2012 at all in your game?
No.
We didn't manage to actually
We were
incorporate
planning on including some collectibles to maybe get 20 total points, but we didn't get that far, unfortunately.
You got 2 out of 3.
Any questions at all from anyone else? Or? Anyone? No? Brilliant.
Go back all the way.
Next, Team Ben. The one and only Ben.
That's right. You don't do that. I'm not too sure how it's
No! If you've got it on your laptop, then you can bring that over and we'll put it down. I was so hoping it would all run so smooth.
Mine says quite.
Whoa.
There's a bin there.
Hold it.
I've got a bottle.
If you want to bring your laptop over.
Yeah, it's not like the should we skip it? See if we can-
What kind of adapter? But yeah, okay, we'll move on to the next one. We'll see if we can sort this one out.
Yeah.
I was hoping it was all going to run smoothly, you know. Damn you, Ben. So, Team Erotic Nexus.
Nordic.
Oh, I can't see it from here. It's all pixelated.
It has been 24 hours. Pixelated, leave me alone, I'm tired.
Can you guys?
We're going to need a little bit of space. Oh no.
So the game is the Kinect camera's a little bit buggy, so it doesn't always load the two characters.
Yeah, give it a second.
We can change the height a bit.
Sit on there. It's probably the best one.
So we have Odin and Loki. No, yeah, Thor fighting against each other.
And basically the point is, you have to try and get the fireballs to hit the other person whilst I need a controller. You can stop around it. Oh, yeah. Really? You see, sometimes it doesn't always find it.
Your arms over. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that might be it too. Right then.
Just dance.
Fisher, your next guy. And when you stop, the ground actually takes as well.
I don't think you
Oh, you just
But yeah, that's the whole idea of the game. So yeah. Any questions?
Where was she? There's a lot of sheep at the very
The
beginning.
sheep, there are actually
There's a
sheep
little
on the bottom, yeah. The original idea was like when the person stomps and stuff, the sheep people would actually scatter randomly and like see the shit being kicked around and stuff as they move around.
Why is it the fireballs go get deflected by your own shield?
Because it was basically a way of you have to move your shield around to try and.
But surely, if they're in separate hands, you should be able to cast.
No,
your
well,
shield.
it was that. Otherwise, you'd just be able to spam it over and over.
Yeah,
It was,
makes
it was,
so you have
it was,
to
so you have to actually move your shield.
So to cast fireballs, you have to get yourself open.
Yeah.
Yeah, opens
You
yourself
have to open yourself up to attack to actually attack.
Yeah.
Some people going fully on defense.
Yeah. So otherwise you just get someone who's sitting there with that and just spamming them.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Then.
Right, so we're just going to have a roll of pencils.
For like about.
What does Thor say? It's like Balrog.
It's Amazon.
The game is Sheepageddon. Basically, it's a first person roam around. I shouldn't have done that thing so big. But basically go around killing. The main purpose is to go around killing sheep because there's an epidemic in 2012 and we need to clear out all the sheep before the 2012 Olympics. And at the moment, you shoot balls at them. It's supposed to be missiles, but I haven't got that far yet. I was going to add some platforming sections. Of course, they didn't make it in yet.
Knock them over. So have you just got to knock them off the edge, have you? Or?
Well, I was going to actually have them die. For some reason, they wouldn't disappear.
stubborn sheep.
Oh,
no.
oh no, okay.
It's a feature. So do you have limited ammo or just?
At the moment it's unlimited.
It's not like if you shoot down and jump on it.
Are they all pre-built models or did you?
I made them myself
Okay.
because you had to pay for some pre-built ones. I'm not paying that much.
All right. We got any questions at all?
What did the sheep ever do to you?
Trying to take over the world.
All right. No more questions.
Give up saying team names as well, so.
Norwegian Blue. Norwegian Blue.
Oh.
So basically, we wanted a game which was covered all the themes. So we thought there's mad scientists create some mutant sheep which cause the apocalypse, and somehow some Vikings get thrown into the mix and have to try and survive. So basically, you play as up to 4 players, players 1 Viking each, group of Vikings, trying to survive against the deadly sheep onslaught. So you do each one with that. Yeah. And you can attack, you can also sprint. Camera follows the players. And just try and survive against the sheep. Kill as many as you can before they kill you. Of course, eventually you will die. It is inevitable. Perhaps inevitable slightly sooner.
Oh, okay, fine.
So you can see at the top, Seb's health is going down very quickly. Oh,
There we go.
there we go. So quick game. And you get scored on like how long you last, how many sheep you kill. Basically the gist of it. Any questions?
Yeah, how did you, what did you do to ensure that both players are on screen?
I got the average position of all players, and then focused the camera on that, and also limited players, or prevented them from going outside that area.
Okay.
Was going to make it zoom out when they got further away, but XNA was having none of it. All sorts of stuff went weird.
Any more questions?
How many players did you say that?
Up to 4. 4 Xbox controllers. And you can join and exit while it's in the game as well.
All right. Team Rush Hour.
He's not in my way.
Well, basically the story is that you play a Viking who, on his way to service his team on the London Olympics, found out that Scandinavia had basically won the entire thing, which had basically caused the apocalypse. So basically, the 4 sheepmen of the apocalypse have come to cause trouble, and it is your job to clear out the different hordes, like the different enemies such as war, pestilence, and try and beat the boss at the end of the level. Basically, what we were hoping to do is that it would kind of hook up to kind of a Wi-Fi on your phone, was the basic design for it, so that people in the local area could keep tally on how many people had sorted out how many different areas, and basically have kind of like guilds of teams to try and see which area was the best at saving from the sheep. So let me show you a bit of gameplay here. One of the features we did add in is so that, just to give you a bit more customization, you could change how your character looked, just to a basic degree anyway. And just the joy of hitting things with a large battle axe. This would be one of the mid bosses at the end. One of the features that you may not have been able to see was you couldn't get too close to any of the sheep, simply because since this was the pestilence level, they had a kind of aura of death around them. So getting too close to them, even if they weren't touching you, would cause you to lose some health. And since we were hoping to put this on using the air feature of Flash, so if you go into Android phones, we did have a little soft touch joypad there. But unfortunately, since we didn't have a touchpad, we couldn't really properly test that out. And that is essentially it.
Any questions at all? Huh?
There it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's big for
Yeah.
Blackfish.
What's your name? We'll find out why.
No longer.
That's alright, that's not good. It should be like really wide screen, but obviously with it, it's been squished.
But yeah, so this is a game like a race to the end. There were a few different ideas at the start, but we couldn't figure them out properly, so we had to try and make best technology of how it all works together. There is a story.
Pretty much, it's about Victor and his beloved pet Fluffy, and they have to try and escape their beloved land, and by trying to escape from meteors and stuff like that.
The apocalypse, which is 2012.
Yeah.
Called Asteroid 2012. Yeah, that was part of it. You want to start the game? Yeah, you see the big green looking asteroid at the top. Originally that was meant to come down and get bigger and look like it's going to crash into the world, but I had problems doing that. So instead now it just follows, and if it's to hit Victor and Fluffy, the game's over. Also, Josh here's got to dodge all the meteors, which should have been sprouting out with Mr. 2012. And so, yeah. Also, avoid the lava because it gets set on fire. You might see different coloured sheep as well. The red sheep slow them down, so they're bad sheep. And then there's the golden sheep that speed them up, and they've got to escape to them. Go into space. Control-wise, it's quite limited. You can jump and double jump, and you can go right. I guess to avoid people from going backwards. Those trying to run away from the big asteroid, you don't want to be going into it.
And there could be DLC where the meteor comes to other planets.
Yeah. Day one DLC.
Return of the meteor.
Persecuted. I'm not sure what else I know about that. There's much. Pretty basic. So that's any questions of why it's so basic?
Is it possible to die?
Yes.
Yes. Do you want to? Yeah. We've got more stories we haven't shown you. How do you want him to die? By fire. So I get eaten by the big dude up there. Game over. Evil guy.
We had problems with the sprites for the hearts coming up because it's a side scroller. We had problems coding it, so the hearts would follow the screen because they just got stuck and spent about 2 hours illustrating over it.
Yes, there would be a scoring system of like points where if you fall in the lava or get hit by a meteor, you lose a life. But then if you collect the sheep, you gain points. So there's a point system and a life system.
Kind of worked on it as we was going along to see what worked best. What made us fall out least. So, it worked out quite well. Victor and Fluffy. Is there anything else? Science. Okay.
Dot, hit name, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon.
Couldn't really think of a name, so.
I can't believe you actually wrote it.
Code for us.
We'd like to introduce you to a friend of ours, sheep number 2012. Aptly named because the Vikings, who keep a large stockpile of them, have killed 2,011 of them thus far, and sheep number 2012 has had enough of it, quite fair. So we invite you to come along on this journey. Okay. So, is anyone familiar with Binding of Isaac?
Yeah.
Sort of that meets Dark Souls. So, this is sheep number 2012, who at the moment is pretty undergeared. He's got his health in the bottom left corner, and he can explore this room. Can't really see too well, but there's a nice little door on the right. And this is our combat system. He has a really crudely drawn sword. There's a Viking that's quite angry with his escape and is desperately trying to kill him.
He has a shield which, by holding the left trigger, you can see that the stamina bar is going down. He can't block forever because he's a pretty awesome sheep, but he's not that awesome. And it does reduce the damage that he actually takes by half, providing that the shield is facing the right direction. So he seems pretty lost at the moment. Yeah, you're right. So the idea basically behind this is that you've got 3 different types of enemies. Occasionally you'll come across a big nasty boss who will ultimately pretty much end you until you sort of go around the dungeon and get a bit more experience. We have a map as well, so this updates as you, so there's many more rooms to explore that you can't see at the moment, and the green bars basically indicate where you can move to.
Down, right down in the left.
Yeah, like the main storyline with the game is that there were 2012 sheep being farmed by Vikings, and you find out that you're all getting murdered. So you're the only survivor, and you're trying to get out against all the blood. From all the other sorts of sheep.
So a lot more to sort of be done to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of features that I'd like to add.
Yeah, there were a lot of bits we made that we didn't have time to put in, like extra damage features with swords and spikes and everything would pop out.
May have been a bit too big of a project for 24 hours.
We're overly ambitious.
Yeah.
We did have a sword as well, but it wouldn't.
We don't have a sword, it's just now yellow.
Yeah.
Sort of cheap lightsaber. So that's pretty much as it goes. The map itself, when you first start the game, automates to show you where you are with the cross in the middle. And the sort of aim was to have maybe some treasure chests that would also show on the map when you found them, whether you've opened them or not. Perhaps you haven't killed the Vikings and you might want to go back there later. Especially if you want to take on the dragon, you'll need to gear up and level up quite a lot. So it's pretty much as far as we got. The map itself is all hard-coded as opposed to being randomly generated, which would allow us to sort of, play around a bit more with bosses, although we kind of played around with the idea of having randomly generated one for like maybe a nightmare endless mode where the dungeon just keeps going.
What's the dragon again?
We also have two types of enemies working at the moment. The ones that chase you, sort of kind of melee you, they do a bit of damage if they get too close. And the archers just shoot from a distance. The ones that stay still eventually will charge you in sort of like a mad frenzy, but that's pretty much the game so far.
The graphics, basically, I just made most of this in Adobe Photoshop, just layering different things. So say the background would just be the floor with the using the burn tool to create shading and then making blood splodges for the dead sheep. And then say these sections here were just more separate layers that were created as sprites, so you can create blocks, so obviously the sheep can't just walk through walls and be... Yeah, that's it.
Any questions?
Have you managed to complete it yet?
It's pretty decent so far. I mean, that's basically all the groundwork.
Is it
Oh,
complete?
sorry.
Can you kill the dragon?
God,
The dragon looks pretty badass.
We have nerfed him quite a lot and I still can't kill him.
Hence resilience.
Doesn't stop me from flying.
We're not even sure if it's possible.
Maybe we need to make some bonfires is like safe.
I won't take up everyone's time failing miserably. I'll leave it at that.
Any more questions?
Did you say there was a leveling system?
No,
If you want one.
But hopefully we have a sort of talent system sort of sketched out as well, which will increase the rate in which you swing your sword, or you could perhaps put more points in health or stamina so you can block more. We would also like to add extra weapons, that kind of thing. But for now, it's just sort of the foundation for sort of a dungeon crawler that we've set up. Okay. Thank you very much.
Team Hodgins.
No one can kill the damn dragon.
That's quite dark.
You see it a lot better on the screen. Well, basically what's been cut off at the top is a timer. We tried to put all three themes in, so we've got a timer of, 201.2 seconds for the time. This thing, basically, it's like a dungeon crawler, what is it, like a arena battle type thing? Let's play the best we start off. So, player one starts it. Okay. Right. So basically, the players control each of these little Vikings. The screen visibility flashes randomly. Every time it flashes, it creates a power-up in the center of the screen. They increase like the stats. At the moment, we've only got 2 implemented at the moment. We've only got 2 implemented at the moment, where you can increase the number of lives you got with a maximum of 4, and increase the number of bombs you can drop. Unfortunately, it's very hard to see, but basically what you're dropping is sheep strapped with dynamite, so like proximity mines. And basically the aim of the game is to eliminate the rest of the players. Compared to as well.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to see on the screen. Yeah, basically ruined our game.
Any questions?
So can you set off your own proximity mines?
Yes, you can. It's
you place down sheep. Each player places their own sheep, and if the other player goes onto it, they're going to lose a life.
Yeah, if you go onto one sheep that you've placed.
Yeah, you can destroy yourself basically.
Yeah.
So not only remembering where you own yourself, but when it flashes, you've got to remember where the other player are to try and get them as well.
It's a lot better when you can actually see the players and. Terrible demonstration.
Alright, no other questions or? Anyone on the sheet?
Okay, our game is called Olympics, as you can see. It's basically, we incorporated all three things with like your main character being the sheep, which basically stole the golden crown from the Vikings, and the Vikings are trying to get it back. And the sheep has to win the Olympics. The idea was like each Olympic game that he won, like with like 100 meters, you'd be able to sprint faster, and high jump, you have to jump high, but we didn't quite get that to work yet. So we got the actual mini games to work properly though, ish, sort of. As you see, this is like the main menu where you can sort of go between different rooms, and then you go to Rome, and Rome. The Roman one is the one we got to work the best. And you press enter to go into it. And basically with this, you need to press the keys, as you can see in the top right.
So as it's yellow, you press that key, and you need to press them correspondingly. And the faster you go, the faster the wheel spins around, so it's harder to sort of keep it in time. And you need to beat the Viking to the end. And picking up the little sheep and the little rubber dinghies, or rubber rings, you actually make you go faster, and gives you sort of a points value as well. And then you went for that. And then you can try, what was the other one? You got axe throw as well. Yeah. Or hammer throw.
Yeah, we call that hammer throw, but really we thought because it's a Viking with the dual-sided axe, so we'll use that as well. And it gets a bit insane on how fast you can go, but I think it kind of suits the game.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd incorporate that spinning mechanic as well. And when you actually go flying, depending on how hard you hit it, is how fast your speed will go. There'll be obviously those Vikings running across the field, and you can hit them for extra points of history in the game as well.
Yeah. This is the last working one. And with this you need to press A and D keys, and green means you need to press that one. And then once you get to the end of it, you need to press spacebar and jump as far as you can.
And land on the sheep, because we thought that was down.
It's sheep themed at least. And like the faster you press the A and D keys, the faster you go. And then you press space to sort of get right to the very end and the farthest.
So we wanted to put in like a fencing and hurdles as well, but they're not quite working. So
you can go show them a sort of try.
So basically I'm hitting the I, K and the M key for like a high, a mid and a low, but it doesn't really work very well. So.
You can like see the player and enemy health going down with like gliders, but didn't quite get it to work properly. And when the enemy gets to zero, then we go. And run away. And we also had a hurdles one which we didn't get to work.
Yeah,
quite right.
Instead of hurdles, you obviously have like a sheep that I just saw grazing on the track, which you can jump over instead. Yeah, that little guy there, he's your hurdle instead of the normal bar. Yeah, it doesn't work.
So your character would be at a set speed, and you have to jump certain times. We'd have it so like spread out more sheep. You have to time it like really close to get the proper jump distance to get over them. But that was a basic idea. Any questions?
Did you try adding any multiplayer? Did you try adding any multiplayer to get that track and field?
With the Rome game, we actually sort of had like one person doing the wheel and to actually move the boat, and the other person to actually move the boat left and right, so you could like pick up the sheep and stuff. It's sort of incorporated a little bit.
The idea to have two circles, like the two different sets of keys to come up, but we didn't really go out with it.
Yeah, just from trying to remember, the circle was kind of confusing, and trying to move left and right
Yeah,
to sheep.
it was a little bit difficult, and the faster it gets, it's really difficult to get the right key.
You can't lose rhythm, but
yeah.
Any more questions at all? All right. Nigel.
Hello, my team Nigel.
Right, well basically, we started with that game, we decided that we wanted to do like an RPG type game. It wouldn't have been easy, but we wanted to do a 3D environment, but we wanted sort of 2D sprites, so you wouldn't have like a 3D character and stuff, but you just have the 4 directions, you know, sort of normal stuff. And then we decided, you know, we'll have 8 areas. You walk around all this and you can kill the enemies, you need to unlock different things to get to different places, get it all planned out. And then it hit us at about the 12-hour mark, that there was no way we were going to reach that. So we've just got a couple of zones.
Second control's not working.
Right, some technical difficulties. But so we've got the village. Our main story is you're like a Viking and like you're a shepherd, and you managed to keep all 2012 sheep in your little sheep pen, as you'll see in a minute. Fantastic cave. And it's been, you know, they've all been stolen, so you've got to go through this magical journey and quest of finding these different axes to get to different elements, to get to different areas to save your sheep, because they're really, really important to you for some reason.
Well, that didn't quite happen.
Yeah, like you said, the whole 8-zone thing kind of...
We were very
gets a bit
ambitious
late.
when we started.
Very, very ambitious. So we've got sort of 2 zones that eventually will work, hopefully. Because I think the main problem is the minute is we've got it working with 1 character, then we thought, why not add co-op? This is why not, but it does work. We have tested it just before. It does work. You can, there's even things like, it can, if someone goes down, like they die, they sort of get an exclamation mark above their head, they can't do anything, the other person can run over, rescue them, bring them back up. That's ish working, that's very, very iffy. Not gonna lie. But yeah, we can hopefully see some amazing co-op action.
Yes, there's two main characters. There's player 1 is obviously the shepherd, and the player 2 is an optional sort of the friend of the character, and you can choose to go around. If the second player comes in, you play as Olaf, who is your old friend, and like I said, the main story was you start off, your sheep have been stolen, and you have to go around through the towns to get to caves to destroy boss monsters, to get new power-ups, to then move to different caves and such. But as that wasn't happening, we've just sort of condensed it down to a town and a cave. So
we have some rather sexy slimes bouncing towards you. I think these ones are sort of easy to avoid, but they do a decent amount of damage. Player 2 is all. But yeah, they're
Joel's a mirror.
yeah, we just managed to squeeze in some sort of blood particle effects just when you sort of stab people. It's really hard to see on this, but like when you hit them, they flash red, like so you can tell you hit them. It's not just sort of flaming effects and hoping they die eventually. And then sort of it's probably gonna make their way through the cave. So we're just wandering through. There's plenty of enemies. Like I said, we sort of had to condense everything at the sort of last 4 or 5 hours. There's a secret tunnels feature. Don't worry about it. So yeah, it's a shortcut that means you can't go over. But eventually, hopefully, we'll get through a maze of invisible walls, which again feature you're supposed to unlock something so you can see. But yeah, you fight through this cave and there's a boss. But the thing with bosses is, as there's 2D sprites, he's just died now. The bosses were 3D models, like, so we got the houses, they're all 3D models. But he is at the end. I don't think we're going to get to see him because he's sort of aiding your friend thing isn't quite working. But he's just very bright on. But they're 3D models. It's got like a sort of a weak pointy eye that's separate, so you can only attack it with the eye. But that wasn't quite finished, but it's there and it looks really cool. But that's at the end. You're not going to see it because they just died. But we should have to take our word for it on that one.
Yeah, we had big plans, but we didn't have time.
Yeah, we had to condense them at the last minute, so that was okay.
Any questions?
Were the main characters sprites or 3D models?
Sprites.
Yeah, the characters were sprites, the environments were 3D models.
Yeah.
We're going for a different look from a normal 3D.
Anything else? No more?
Terror couple kill colonel.
Oh, well, you should have a team in front.
Hey everybody. I'm a half of Team Terror couple kill colonel. Terror if you will. And what we have for you is not so much a game as a brief, non-interactive demo, and not so much a demo as a proof of concept. Not so much a proof as a suggestion, really. Initially, please run. Thank you. Okay, so we initially thought of a two-player game in which one player herds some highly neurotic sheep while another controls Vikings and has them attempt to abduct those sheep. And the 2012 theme would have been a kind of an apocalyptic twist, where the map gradually shrinks. And initially the best, well, never mind that. The point is we clung to the single least feasible aspect of this premise, specifically the autonomous behavior of the sheep, and decided, what if the sheep themselves were the Vikings? They don't actually have helmets yet, we didn't get around to that. And two players basically attempt to defeat each other's sheep for control of pasture lands and stuff. Not by directly clicking their sheep and issuing orders RTS style, but rather by setting all of these high-level behavioral policies, which the sheep do adhere to, and they actually do kind of juggle these priorities in a semi-sane fashion, but we haven't actually implemented really, defining them for the sheep yet, since it wasn't. We had ideas, we had dreams. So here you see one sheep which is not in fact a sheep. I mean, let me just restart this real quick. See, sheep are mostly driven by hunger and their own stupidity. I'm not sure if you can make it out on this screen, but there are actually two different teams of sheep that are very slightly differently colored in play at the moment, and well, there go half of them. So yeah. No, that's not a sheep. So yeah, if you click a sheep, you can see that they're driven mostly, as I said, by hunger and their own stupidity. This is not in fact a sheep, nor a Viking sheep, but just a regular Viking, as you can tell by the fact that they feel no hunger, only the lust for plunder and stuff. They have some different names. So in summation, relatable NPCs, real-time grass growth. Was that really so hard, Lionhead Studios? Any questions?
Have you implemented any kind of interface to spawn your
set.
own sheep?
No. It was in the works. And then we got tired. Like real tired. You don't even know.
Any other questions? The Golden Rams.
I have got my own stick with me, unfortunately.
I wasn't here. While it's being set up, I'll give you the kind of plot line to our game. The idea is it's the year 2012, and the Greek gods have got tired with how the world has grown. It's no longer in their favour. And what they're going to do is they're going to destroy the Earth, but the Norse gods like the Earth, they like the technology, they like the people. So they've decided they're going to bring back one of their champion's descendants, bring him up to Valhalla and the realm above Earth to help join the fight against the evil Greek gods. Which is essentially what this tells you. We were going to have like a comic explaining it all, but we just ran out of time. So put a basic scrolling thing in to just give you the gist of the story. And the idea of it is to collect your 4 pieces of armour in the first level, to protect yourself from the enemy beings, to give you a bit of protection, and to collect a series of items that you'll need to create the new golden cloak of invincibility that was originally forged, to help you defeat your final battle against the boss. As you can see, we've got quite a few rats complaining about. They are the lowest of the enemy.
I think they do about 20 damage to your health if you have 100. Every time you lose your health, you lose life. You have 5 life to start off with. And that's basically the main part of the game. As George demonstrated, trying to get around to one of our areas where the first piece of armour is. As soon as you collect it, it takes you back to the centre point to go to one of the other 3 sections to collect the next point. As soon as you have all 4 pieces on this first level, it automatically transports you to the next level, within which the gods are battling. And your aim is to use that as a distraction to get your item and get out. That's pretty much most of the game.
We have quite a few levels, but it's kind of hard to get through them. So.
George played it the most, and I think we've only got to the end once.
Yeah.
As it gets on later on, we have things like lava coming out at you have to outrun. But as soon as you get to a certain point, it does stop at those times to give you a fighting chance. Although as soon as you get to another point, it starts coming from a different direction, and you have to get the run on again.
Any questions?
Are there any sheep in it?
There are. You have to collect the golden sheep to create your golden cloak.
Anything else?
Can you kill the rats in any way?
Yes, but we didn't get around to implementing that because the animation for the animation for the attacking wouldn't work, and our animator disappeared halfway through the evening, so we kind of got a little stuck because we couldn't do it.
Anything else? University of Leicester Team 1.
Yes, we are that unimaginable.
So we were going something a bit sort of RTS-y, because that's my favourite genre of a lot of ours. So comes up. Go into a skirmish. So the basic idea is we have a randomly generated map with randomly generated islands on it.
So if we go back in, you'll see that the islands we place in different places, and every island will be a different shape.
You get control over a few random territories, and the AI gets control of some others. Sheep are the basic resource. Your Vikings are your sort of warriors, so your defense and offense. So then you can build farms to increase your production of sheep, docks to allow you to build ships to attack and transport your sheep around, and towns to increase your production of soldiers. And you can also modify your production levels with our slider. As you can see, you can send ships across to attack other islands.
You get to report what happens in the battle.
Yeah, so you go, if I'm not covering it, you can see it gives you reports what happened in your battles. You steadily produce sheep and Vikings over time. You can modify, you can increase or decrease your towns and farms, but they cost sheep to produce, as do your ships. So yeah, that's the basic idea. We sort of, if you've ever played the game Euphoria, that was sort of a little bit of the gameplay aspect we were going for. You can take over, if you get rid of all of the AI's Vikings, then you can take over an island. But the AI kind of turtles a bit at the moment. So
Originally, the AI would come and attack your island as well, but the algorithm kind of got a bit stuck, so it's like they never get enough sheep to actually come and attack you. It did work at one point. And they also have they try to react to your movements. So each island is assigned like military or economy, the AI's logic. So depending on how close it is to your own islands, it will tend to favour military production as opposed to sheep production.
And if it's sort of back in its defensive area, then it'll produce more sheep that it can send forward to bolster its economy.
You can also send sheep between colonies.
Um,